So we've been learning a few more lessons today. I'm getting tired of learning lessons, aren't you?
They're mostly your lessons.
That's funny.
A sailboat in the moonlight and June. Wouldn't that be heaven? Oh, heaven just for two. A soft breeze on a June night and what a perfect setting for letting dreams come true.
Well, today I'm going to tackle a job I've been looking forward to for a long, long time. And I mean that sarcastically. There's a hose that runs from our holding tank all the way to the stern of the boat to the macerating toilet. And that head pumps its sewage when it's stored on board, not pumped offshore, to this tank through this hose that is like 15 feet long, I'm going to guess, maybe 16. And what happens to rubber hose on a boat is over time it starts to degrade and the smells start to permeate the hose. So my sense of sniffer is not too good, but Deb, every time she gets on board, she says, "Oh, I can smell that stupid hose again." So anyway, today we're going to tackle that. I've picked up some hose really reasonably, and I think it's going to be okay. It's from a hot tub company, actually. And speaking with the guy who sold it to me, he said this stuff is more impermeable than just about anything you can buy. So we're going to give that a shot, see if we can kill that smell, and if not, well, I'll just have to go out and buy the normal hose. This stuff was cheap enough, so good for an experiment. Join the fun. Okay, I just got my shirt changed. Part of the difficulty with this pipe is that it's full of water, and you see I've got to wind it through some pretty significant areas here, tiny little holes actually. So it's going to be a bit of a pain for a while, but we'll vacuum and disinfect everything afterwards, so we eliminate that odor. But I already had to change my shirt once. I got one more shirt left, so let's hope that works out. Well, the day has finally arrived. The sun is about to come up, and we've got our good friend Alze back here, and Debbie, and the three of us are going to paint this boat, and she's going to be beautiful. We've done a few things this time round that we didn't do last time. First and foremost, we've controlled this temperature. So we came in here at 5 o'clock in the morning rather than 7 o'clock in the morning. So we're here before the sun's up. We've damped out the ground around the boat so the dust won't be kicked up. Also, we ran the air conditioner inside the boat through the night to keep the hull cool. I found through the course of the night that the heat of the day never did go away, and the boat stayed nice and hot, and I didn't really want that. So she's cooled off now, but not too cool. Debbie's doing some very careful mixing, and this time around she's waiting the prescribed 30 minutes. Here she is here, prescribed 30 minutes before we use the paint. So we're just 30 minutes away from beginning application. We've got some specialty brushes here. Where'd that brush go? Well, there, right there.
Right there.
So we've got some natural hair brushes here.
Be careful with that, by the way. It's expensive.
They're very expensive. So anyway, we've got some of those. Al's going to tip behind me, and I'm going to roll. We've thinned about 5%. And yeah, I guess the hull's been really well cleaned. We cleaned it with a fiberglass cleaning fluid, and then on top of that, we wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol. So every residue is going to be gone, and just before we begin painting, we're going to do a little tack cloth rub down. So I don't think there's anything else we can do to prepare. I've got the scaffolding ready, and I've got my big ladder ready, and we've got enough hands on deck. And I think about an hour and a half or 2 hours from now, this boat will be a new color. I should mention too that one thing that was clogging up the works last time was that little reveal. Because we had to go and paint that, with a brush and then transition back to the hull again, it caused delays going back and forth. So we've decided we're going to paint in a little bit on both ends, and then later on I'll come on another day. I can do it by myself, and I can very carefully take my time and paint that reveal. So that'll be done probably tomorrow, because I do want to tie in with fresh paint within the 24-hour period. So probably tomorrow morning we'll do that. So we didn't tape that out. That'll have to be done today. Here she is, folks. She'll be a very different boat the next time we talk. Well, I'd give him a hug, except I don't think he'd appreciate that. But my good friend Alze back. Al, thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.
It looks fantastic, and
it was a lot of fun.
Really happy. So paint job is done. We have a reveal coming up. So we've been learning a few more lessons today. I'm getting tired of learning lessons, aren't you?
They're mostly your lessons.
That's funny. Anyway, we just got off the phone with Epiphanis and our good friends at Marine Outfitters, and it looks like we've made a mistake. And I think the mistake happened a long time ago in this whole process, but it was overlooked by all three of us that the brushing thinner that we were provided is the wrong thinner. And so when we did that initial little stripe on the top that went bad, it was because of the brushing thinner. When we did the first coat on this that I sanded off, it was the brushing thinner. And now we've done the third real application, second coat on the hull, and it's gone bad too. And it didn't lay down the way it should. It had some of a sort of a greeny haze to it because the thinners were struggling to thin the paint, but we're only able to lift one element out of the paint, and it was bringing that to the surface. So there's a whole bunch of issues. The transom is kind of lumpy. I don't know if you can see that, but because we had a little bit of heat, we needed to add some thinners, and those thinners do a job, and that job is to keep the paint moving and flowing, and it wasn't doing that job. So
we came to this realization when I was mixing the paints and putting them in Chris's tray. It kept the a goldy green color kept coming to the surface in his tray, and we thought, oh my gosh, is that having a chemical reaction with the plastic? And so we'd have to keep mixing it in his tray, although I had really mixed it well in the can. And then we had some paint left over, so we were painting our boat cradle, and when we went over there, we had already painted it half with the paint that was left over from the previous time we painted the boat, and there were all kinds of gold streaks through the paint. And anyway, that was another clue. And then when Chris came to wipe the paint off of his arms and hands, he noticed that the thinner had said it was for 1 part paint. For 1 part only. So our
anyway,
deduction was that that was the error all along.
The entire problem, yeah.
Yeah. That's why the paint wasn't mixing well, wasn't laying well, wasn't drying properly.
That's right, yeah. So let's go around this side. It looks very nice actually down here. Like, not all of it was bad. I mean, some of it laid down well, but you can tell where we were struggling to get a good flow, and if we would have had the correct thinners, we would not have had that struggle. It does look beautiful. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the look, but
this is the color too, exactly.
This is the right color.
Yeah.
So, you know, one more coat. Oh, and I should say too, that after contacting Marine Outfitters and contacting Epiphanis, Gord Lacos, our Canadian representative for Epiphanis, we did get a very sympathetic response from both of them, and they acted very quickly to resolve this issue, and they have sent us materials to complete the boat. One more good coat, so we're going to now have 3 coats on the boat, but one more good coat, and they've covered the cost of that, and they're shipping it down to us now. So thank you very much to Epiphanis Canada. I mean, great company to work with. Marine Outfitters as well in Kingston. What would we do without you? And we're going to have a beautiful looking boat here with a little bit of sanding and one more application. One more thing too that we did that was wrong. We saw so many people doing rolling and tipping, and that's a customary way to apply yacht paint. Roll it and tip it. You see all kinds of websites about that. We decided to tip regardless of the fact that Epiphanis no longer recommends it, because we just couldn't get the flow otherwise. And again, all that's attributable to the lack of correct thinners. We had the wrong thinner. So this time around we're going to sand this off, and I'm going to be able to go around with their yacht paint in one go, just using a roller by myself, and paint the entire boat. So, and now that I've done it 3 times, it's going to be easy. So
you're a pro.
I'm a pro. Yeah.
Three's the magic number.
3 strikes you're out, I think, is the.
Yeah, but you're doing it the 3rd time. If you do it once more bad, then
I'm
it's
out.
going in the water.
Anyway, she's still beautiful. The boat too.
Haha.
Onward and upward.